Well, trouble in paradise, says a man from New Jersey is at least the 9th American tourist to die in the Dominican Republic. 55-year-old Joseph Allen was found dead in his hotel room. It is unclear how he died or if his death is connected to the recent string of mysterious deaths on the island nation. The U.S. State Department has yet to issue a travel advisory warning Americans not to travel to the Dominican Republic. 6.5 million tourists visited the island just last year, but a series of high-profile incidents risk tarnishing the view of paradise. So let's get more now on the crisis in the confidence that the DR is facing in Spotlight. Joining us right now, Tim Hentschel, co-founder and CEO of Hotel Planner and Meetings.com. Tim, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Roxanne, for having me.
Absolutely. So what are you and the industry advising people who have either made plans to go to the Dominican Republic or have been thinking about it for quite some time and were planning on going?
Well, hopefully this is just a blip and they'll get it under control soon. We saw this in Europe a couple of years ago. Basically there was in North Africa and the Middle East, the terrorist attacks.
Sure.
And what that caused in Greece and Turkey was, a lack of tourists. And then the resorts started to cut corners and the restaurants and the bars. And one of the things they did was start to use cheaper alcohol. And so you got this bootlegged alcohol that actually has antifreeze in it.
Oh.
And that's what is, causing these sickness and these problems. So it's already happened in Europe. Hopefully they can control it in the Caribbean. I believe it has a little bit to do with the crackdown at the border on the U.S., where now that the drug trade can't get through the U.S. as easily, they're going through the Caribbean. That caused, a buildup of homicides, of crime in the Caribbean. And that's caused people to shy away from the Caribbean, and therefore resorts have had to cut costs, and they're turning to cheaper booze as an example for those all-inclusives, and that's what's causing these problems. But it's already happened in Europe. If they can control it and get it back under control, then hopefully this will be a small.
Okay, and Tim, we just want to make clear, that's an interesting point that you raised, and certainly you are likening it to past experiences, but we just want to make clear it still hasn't been determined exactly what has happened to these individuals in the Dominican Republic. But also we're speaking about a lot of people have been mugged and robbed in the Dominican Republic. Of course, you had David Ortiz, who was recently shot sitting out in public, sitting on a street. What would you advise people traveling there, not only to just to the Dominican Republic, but also other places where I would have to say, is there a high sense of crime there going on?
Yeah, this is the problem. As the drug trade moves through the Caribbean, there's going to be an increase in crime that's going to put a restraint on resources for the cops and everything else. That's going to cause these resorts to have to put more resources in their private security. This is not uncommon. This happened across the border in the U.S. in border towns like Tijuana. If you look at what happened in Tijuana, in 2008, 2009, it was around the same time that resorts and bars and restaurants can't keep up with their private security, which a lot of that area depends on, because it's being diverted to other resources. That's a problem, and then therefore crime rises.
Okay, so are you?
They need more money in the resorts to be able to keep up their private security.
Yeah, to protect people. So are you seeing a drop in individuals wanting to go to the Dominican Republic? Also, can you, I hate to say this, but can you catch a good deal?
You can catch a really good deal. There's always a good deal to be had.
Oh, I suppose so.
When your life is on the line, of course. Of course. There will be a drop in the demand, and then therefore resorts will have to drop prices in response.
Okay.
But that's not really what we're about. We want everybody to go and feel safe and have a great time.
Exactly.
I hope that the governments can put the resources towards making sure that they can reinforce with the right amount of resources for policing, and therefore the resorts don't have to do it themselves. Yeah, exactly.
Tim, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in and speaking to us. Tim Hentschel, co-founder and CEO of Hotel Planner and Meetings.com. Thanks again, Tim.